Hey, it's Jeff Summers with Watch You Know. Don't change the channel. Yes, it's another PRX review, but this is a little different. I have a lot of knowledge about this watch. I own it, and I want to also let you know that the 35 millimeter diameter, which has just been released, is the same watch as this one. The 40 millimeter is just smaller, and I'll cover that a little bit in this review and talk about the quartz versus the automatic. So let's not waste any more time and get right into it. All right, this watch is available in many other colors such as blue, black, white, forest green, and the one Teddy Baldasarre loves, the newer light blue Glacier Edition. My choice is this lush dark forest green. No matter what dial color option you choose, you're bound to like it. It's much appreciated that Tissot offers so many dial colors. Speaking about this forest green dial, it really does have a chameleon effect, especially in low lighting. When I unboxed this watch, it initially looked black, then it seemed dark blue. As I brought it to the light, I was relieved that yes, it was the dark green. Funny how lighting plays tricks on you with certain watches. This watch is also available in quartz. At first, when the new generation PRX came out in 2021, it was only available in quartz. In reality, it may be the better option for Tissot purists because the original 1978 Tissot PRX was quartz, and that is what this timepiece is paying tribute to. The PRX, what does it mean? P is precise, R stands for robust, and X is actually a Roman numeral signifying 10 bars of atmospheric pressure or 100 meters of water resistance that you get with this timepiece. Whether your soul guides you to the quartz or automatic counterpart, rest assured that both are extremely similar. The differences are the script on the dial. The quartz is ½ millimeter thinner at 10.5 millimeters. The automatic has a framed date window. The quartz has a solid case back, and the automatic has a waffle dial a la the AP Royal Oak. And yeah, duh, the quartz is quartz and the Powermatic is an automatic with a rotor. Now, of course, the price is different. Quartz comes in somewhere around $300, and I paid a little over $600 for this Powermatic 80 version here. And although this watch may appear to be an AP Royal Oak homage, remember it's not. It's a 1978 Tissot PRX re-release. Today's PRX is a throwback to the times of shag carpets, VW buses, and disco balls. To be fair, nearly all the top brands of the 1970s were taking cues from Gerald Gentry's iconic Audemars Piguet Royal Oak design, which shook the world of watches to its core with its integrated bracelet and radical design in 1972. So many integrated bracelet sports watches popped up in the 1970s, including the Tissot PRX. I should also mention that there's an automatic chrono PRX that will set you back about $2,000. Wow, it's really nice looking. I'd love to see that in person. Anyone that wants to send it to me for review, I'd love to check that out. So here are some of the details of the PRX. It is 316L stainless steel case and bracelet construction, has a diameter of 40 millimeters, it has a thickness of 11 millimeters. And now, as of last month, there is a 35 millimeter option on the PRX, which will be really outstanding for those that have smaller wrists. Lug to lug on paper is 45 millimeters, but due to the first link being fixed on the bracelet, it's really a lug to lug of 50 millimeters. So this is why the 35 millimeter version might be better for many people with small to mid-sized wrists. And just so you should know, the 35 millimeter is exactly the same as the 40, just it's smaller. It has a patterned waffle green dial with stainless steel markers and hands and a framed date window at 3 o'clock. And this makes this watch something really special and downright satisfying to look at. The double stick markers at 12 o'clock are true with other watches like Patek Philippe, Nautilus, and the AP Royal Oak, both designed by whom I think is the greatest watch designer of all time, Gentry. The automatic movement is protected by a scratch-resistant sapphire crystal. And the sign crown is not screw down. Some reviews mention how difficult this crown is to pull, but actually I find it quite easy. It's a far cry from my Omega Genève, which is a battle to pull the crown. The finishing is outstanding, and you really do get a lot for your money with some finishing details that are mostly offered in high-end luxury watches. The bezel has chamfered edges, which is really a transitional edge between two surfaces in case you aren't familiar with the term. The Powermatic 80 is really an ETA 2824, and it's modified to be at 3 Hertz rather than the standard 4 Hertz for a 2824. And this allows for more than double the power reserve with a whopping 80 hours. The watch has hand winding and hacking, and it's easy because there's no screw down crown. Just turn the crown in first position and you're ready for your day. 23 jewels, and I'm getting about 6 seconds per day with this timepiece. It runs fast, 6 seconds per day, which is quite excellent for a non-COSC watch. As I mentioned, this has 80 hours of power reserve, which is fantastic. A couple other watches that have massive power reserves, if that's your thing, is the Rado Couple. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Rado Couple, a classic automatic, and this has 3 days, 8 hours of power reserve. The IWC Portuguese automatic has 7 days, and check this out, the Panerai Luminor GT, a whopping 10 days of power reserve. All right, going back to this PRX, the stainless steel bracelet, it's secured with a push button deployment clasp, which is a butterfly style clasp. And it's really easy to use, and I think it looks quite handsome. Tissot made bracelet changes easy with a quick release on this watch. I know I'm not going to be changing the bracelet because I love it, but maybe you want that option and Tissot gives it to you. Now let me go into my 5 top pros and cons of the Tissot PRX. Let's start with the cons, the things that, just aren't exactly right for me. These are my opinions, maybe it doesn't bother you, but that's what a review is. Just keep that in mind. Anyways, first of all, this watch has pins, not screws. I would prefer screws, but I guess the rationality behind that is if they did screws, the watch bracelet would have to be a little bit thicker, and it wouldn't really be able to fold in on itself so much, which I know if you see the Urban Gentry review, he's all excited about the watch folding in on itself and being slim for storage purposes. The movement, because of its design nature, is extremely difficult to repair. In most cases, with the Powermatic 80s, the repairs can be very costly because you can't really work on them as easily. I imagine somebody could, but it's completely not easy. And sending the watch back to Tissot, where they're likely just to switch it out with another movement, is pretty much what's often going to happen. And that's going to run you more money down the road. The first link of the bracelet does not articulate. It's stationary, so the watch actually wears much larger. It may have been better for it to have been a 36 millimeter and have a more vintage Royal Oak feel. Therefore, small wrists may not take too fondly to the watch size of the PRX. So this is why the 35mm version might be better for many people with small to mid-sized wrists. And just so you should know, the 35mm is exactly the same as the 40, just it's smaller. Once again, Tissot does not do well in the lume category. The lume loses its glow rather quickly. It's weak at best. The last thing I'm not so keen on is that the movement's really nothing exciting to look at. Yeah, you do have a display case back, and that's welcome to me because I kind of like seeing the movements, but many die-hard aficionados may not find it necessary. And of course, it could have made the watch a little bit more thin. Not a huge issue, but just something to think about. All right, pros, things I love about the watch. First of all, it's really fun to wear, and it pays tribute to a design by the great Gentry that is currently all the rage. The finishing is superb with vertical brushing, polished features including chamfered edges. In other words, it hits way above its price point in this regard. Love the butterfly clasp. Federico may not like it, calling it a bit generic on his channel. Great channel, by the way, check him out. But I don't mind. I think it works okay. And Jenni Elle certainly agrees with me, so check out her channel too, maybe. Links below. This makes a tremendous dress, sport, or everyday watch. It looks good with a suit, a nice polo, or a t-shirt and jeans. So freaking versatile is this watch. The hands, the markers, and the date window are magnificent. Something not to be expected under $1,000. Such care was taken, and Tissot hits a home run here. So let's wrap this up with my final thoughts and recommendation. Could this watch help your itch to have an AP Royal Oak? Well, maybe. Nowhere near the finishing and hand craftsmanship of Audemars Piguet, but surely it has that Royal Oak look. The waffle dial resembles an AP more than the quartz's flat sunburst dial. So yeah, I guess with a bit of a stretch of the imagination, it might get that AP itch out of your system. But I think the Tissot diehards might like the quartz better, as it's more true to the original PRX design. In fact, because it was originally a quartz watch in 1978. Nonetheless, the Powermatic 80 version is a killer watch. So here's my advice when purchasing a watch, or just about anything in fact. Research enough to find the general consensus from many trusted sources. Put that together and make your decision. If you have the likes of Jenni Elle, the Urban Gentry, Federico, Teddy Baldasarre, and yours truly, all in consensus that this Tissot PRX Powermatic 80 is an epic watch, then it really is time to consider pulling the trigger. Sure, someone is not going to like things about this watch, including me. I gave you some cons, but nothing's really perfect, especially in this price range. But listen to me carefully. If you buy this watch, you won't regret it. Trust me, it's fantastic. A true bang for the buck watch. In fact, it may be the best bang for the buck watch that you can buy in the $600 to $1,000 price range. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. And if you liked it, as always, please subscribe to the channel. I'm working on 4,000 subscribers, so you can make it happen for me. And I'll bring you some more awesome videos. At least I hope you think they're awesome. Yeah, so there we have it. I hope you have a great evening, morning, night, whatever time it is. And I will see you in that next watch review. Bye.